Okay, it's off to look at some more rubbish again. I love looking through rubbish because it tells us a bit of a story about where we're going. Got the kookaburras with me, that's a good sign. And I'm a person from a generation where basically at home our fridge lasted about 45 years. And I know that because Mum bought it when I was born and it only died a couple of years ago. Are we seeing that sort of longevity in products today? There's one thing I do notice when I look at these rubbish piles. We start to see the same brand and the same items over and over and over. So what's that telling us about what we're buying? Okay, let's do it. Well, it looks like this Santa sleigh had its last little sleigh ride on the rubbish pile. Cheap Christmas light decorations tend to be the scourge of rubbish piles these days. Well, I'm still seeing heaps and heaps of barbecues, but I'm not going to horrify you with these in this video. See that over there? That's another barbecue. And here's like a point of view of me as I see the rubbish on the side of the road. Oh, and there's another barbecue. Sorry about that. Down there's the footpath, and right there is another barbecue. I think on a very serious note, and I keep putting out the barbecues, is as we looked in the other video, there was one barbecue, I looked at the date, and it was only 2010. So in 5 years, because it's 2015 now, that barbecue had died, and I think we're all falling for the trap of buying this cheap Chinese rubbish. Almost said a very bad word there, and I think we've got to snap out of this. All it's doing is it's making China stronger and stronger and stronger. We've got to wake up to ourselves. We've got to stop buying this cheap rubbish. Nearly said the other word again. Look at the double whammy. There is a red trike there, a bird in the tree that you just heard. And there is this thing here, and I think it's a Aldi, it's Lumina brand Steamer Mop, I think. It looks fairly beaten up, I tell you. Again, this is something that I often see on the rubbish piles. Yes, that's a steam mop, that's the info tag there. Okay, it's another pile of rubbish, and there is a vacuum cleaner. I think I know which brand that one is. Can you tell? It is the Aldi brand, the Lumina ones, and I wonder how old that one is. I'll tell you what, it doesn't look that used. Normally there's like a sticker there it's missing. I can't see the year info on this one. Yet another Aldi cleaner bites dust. No pun intended. Oh my goodness me, the classic game of Hungry Hippos. Did you know each hippo had a name? I didn't know that. Maybe I'm just making it up, hey? And look here, the balls are still with the game. That's a very rare find. There you go, the green one's called that, and the yellow one is called that. Well, here's a fairly, normal pile of rubbish, but there's one thing here which is catching my eye, and it's down there. Well, that there is the very famous children group, the Wiggles. In fact, that's the original formula of it. Yeah, look much younger there. Anthony's still in the band at the time I'm making this video. These books are soaked because it has been raining. Wow, look at that. Wake up, Jeff. Jeff's got a guitar there. It's so sad. These books are all out here soaked and getting wet. There's another one up here. Oh yeah, big red car. Bring it on, bring it on. What other wiggly goodnesses here? Let's take a look at this title here. Oh yeah, that's Sam. That was the yellow replacement Wiggle. Let's not say too much about him. I wonder what chord Sam's playing there, but nevertheless, Sam is a curious aspect to the Wiggles empire. If you reach behind Sam there is Murray playing his very famous wiggly guitar. Yes, a very curious find. I've got a bit to say about the Wiggles in another video. Remember in the other video I spoke about those leaf blowers, leaf suckers are a dime a dozen, but this one, well, the blower's missing, but at least the bag's here. Oh, is that a giant block of chocolate or something different? Looks like a bar fridge working free to a good home. Wow, this is better stock than many shops that I go to, and look at that there, it is one of those cozy coupes, a little trikes one, or is it a faker? In fact, it might be, I don't know. Oh, it's little tykes, I think, because step 2, I don't know, audience can tell me that one. Anyway, it's one of those things there. I know there are many various variations on a theme with those. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, things like that over there. Boy, oh boy, even got a nice pink piggy bank there. Oh, it's like a little bookshop as well. We've got 3 nice books here. We've got Doomsday Man. Oh yeah, we've got This Is Me, Ian Thorpe. He's a very famous swimmer. And this one here, Your Baby Month by Month. Well, I think that's for golf clubs. I think that's for playing on like a swing sort of thing. But this one here, the Wiggles bike. Is that the original guys on the front there? Yes, I'm quite spooked about collecting the Wiggles. Like I said, there's going to be a bit more said about this in another video. Well, another curious double act here. This is a Tefal 4-bread toaster. I'm trying to work out a year on this. Maybe you guys can tell me what era this is from. Of course, it's made in China. Why wouldn't it be? Out in the scrap heap. And as strange as it sounds, there is a Chinese dragon here who has lost his head. But I dare say, if you were smart, you could sort of connect him back together. Now, I know many people who say dragons are very, very cool. They are cool, especially ones like these. Well, there's a fridge over there. There's lots of miscellaneous junk there. Looks like some sort of bean bag there. There's an esky there. But down here is something that I keep saying I see so often on the rubbish piles. Leaf sucker, leaf blowers. It's another Ryobi one. We've been seeing a few of these actually. So, maybe that's telling us something about these items. And that there is the info on this particular sucker. So who's going to be brave enough to own up to saying how long these things last? Well, sometimes you get some surprises, and sometimes it's a bit like the TV show Antiques Roadshow. Look at this beautiful piece here. What year is it? Where did it come from? And how much do you think that one will go at auction? And there might be a pot of gold if we open it up. No, not quite. Another very, very common thing I see is microwaves. And this one's got a sign on it which says, "Microwave has died." Well, these people have just bought a Sony Bravia, but here is like a Hungry Hippo FisherPrice car. Wasn't this the toy that when you went along, it basically gobbled up toys and things? I sort of remember this toy from a few years back now, but nevertheless, there's one in the rubbish heap. Well, that's another pile of rubbish, isn't it? But there is something here which is rather strange and rather interesting, and really does show off that you find anything on the side of a road. There it is there. For me, that's a very Australian looking thing. It's something you see out in the countryside, but that is a small scale version of it. Lovely. And another interesting thing here, I think very poignant for this video, is this drill here. It is all metal. Okay, it's the older Black & Decker style. These were great. These lasted a lot longer than the absolute rubbish that you see in the stores today. It's sad to say there'd be a whole generation of people now who don't understand when things were nice, when things were made of metal and things were made properly. And that is really one of the core things of why I like to show you what's on the rubbish piles, because we learn lots about the direction we're headed. Well, there's a lovely treehouse toy, all nice and colourful. You see everything. There is the periodic table, and I think the best person to explain the periodic table was a gentleman called Carl Sagan. Just type in the Google or YouTube Carl Sagan periodic table, you'll see the best explanation of all that. There's a little kitchen here as well. It is quite amazing what you find, and sort of in a funny way, and not surprising to find. And this is a Little Tikes car. I think the one I saw earlier in the video wasn't Little Tikes, I think it was another brand. But mind you, I did take a look in Toys R Us at these cars, and the special price, or the cheapest price, is about $100 for a vehicle in Australia. And it goes up from there, and there's also all different sorts of varieties. If I'm smart, I would have had a cutaway shot of what they look like in Toys R Us at this part of the video. Now, the thing that I see in this now is this reminds me a lot of the Wiggles big red car. So I wonder if the Wiggles got some inspiration from seeing this absolutely classic toy car. Well, it looks like miscellaneous junk again, doesn't it? Until I swing the camera around to here. Wow, look at this game here. This is actually a very large set. If I get my hand down to one of the players, you'll start to see the scale that we're dealing with here. This is absolutely stunning. Well, up here's how you kept score. A little bit rusty, but hey, if you were keen, you could have fixed all this up. I was never really a big fan of these sorts of games, probably because I wasn't really good at playing them. I think it was a lot to do with good wrist action and good hand-eye coordination. And also a fair bit of luck. Let's add that to the equation. Well, who's going to own up and they can say they learned how to ride a bike on one of these balance bikes? There's actually a Thomas & Friends version of one of these, and it's all timber like this one, and I have nearly got one from someone, but they didn't want to release it to me. Well, there's another pile of rubbish there. Hiding behind the tree there is one of those things that we're not really meant to discuss in this video, although there's so many of them. But down there, actually down there, looks like there's some very cool stuff. Well, the first item of interest actually isn't that cool. It's just, I think, like a knockoff Tonka plastic, not very fantastic thing, although this area here is metal. But I just think it's a Tonka knockoff. Looks like the arms of that knockoff thing, part of it is there. There is a little children's fire engine there. Okay, some toys there. And look at this one here, it's James, the big red engine. He is out on the road car. And it's one of those TOMY ones, I think, or is it the Hit ones? It's a TOMY one, it's very small to read. And as you'll know in my Thomas collecting videos, these are some of the most common toys that I come across. These TOMY toys are usually pretty good. Let's see if it still works. Go James, go! There he goes. A bit sluggish, but he still works. Come on James, you can do better than that. Go for it, go, go, go! And there's something in here that's reminding me of my McDonald's diet. It is right there. These are the Happy Meal toys. Let's get that on when I did my McDonald's diet. Oh yeah, they were very cool toys. Very cool. And this is a little FisherPrice toy here. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very Bob the Builder-ish, isn't it? But the thing that I should show you is this, it's actually all metal. It's the, I don't know what they're called, I've just forgotten their name. The audience will tell me. But nevertheless, the cart here doesn't look too bad at all. Yeah, I think the very sensible thing to do is to just take those toys there and that cart down to the local Lions charity shop. They can end up raising money for people who need money rather than having stuff being thrown out. Well, here is a rather large vacuum cleaner. Let's just see what it is. It is a Vax pet vacuum cleaner. Just looking over this thing here, it has got variable suction power there. You can tune it up and down. Also notice there is all of these accessories here. Yeah, look at this here. Some sort of power head thing. A little bit Dyson-ish actually. Look at that. Who knows about Vax? I don't, I've never had one. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? In fact, that doesn't look used. Coles. Well, you find everything in these, don't you? Another piece there. Looks like it has never been used. Now what's interesting here is it is made in Australia. That's where I live. That's the model there. Who knows about these vacuum cleaners? Well, it looks like the exhaust, and it looks like a fair bit of dirt has been going past the motor there. That's not a good sign. Very, very strange to see something made in Australia, that's for sure. Oh yeah, we are ready for takeoff. We are ready for takeoff. There's a little helicopter there on top of an Epson scanner and printer, by the looks of it. But it just shows you that you find basically anything and everything when the rubbish is put out. And strange enough, it doesn't look like there's too much wrong with that helicopter at all. The way I'd see this thing is it'd be perfect for spare parts, because I know things like this tend to fly apart. But seeing that, it's very much an indictment of the society that we live in. Okay, it's another leaf blower sucker thing. It is also a spider's home, and lots of spiders as well. It's a GMC tool. There's the info there. If you can read it, it is very small. And if I poke my finger around in here, who knows, a giant spider might come out and bite me, especially from that hole there. The frequency of seeing these is, well, basically like barbecues. Oh, I remember VHS Tapes. I can see Ice Age there, and Fight Club. Fight Club's a great film. Oh yeah, and I can also see Toy Story 2, oh yeah! VHS Tapes. The Iron Giant. Oh wow, that is a fantastic video. I've just made a huge mess, but I'll put it back together. I love that one there. That's a classic. Very, very good video. Wow, it even had a free bonus, the Iron Giant figurine inside. Oh, that would have been an absolute corker to have. Well, there's miscellaneous rubbish there, and if I go around the pole here, it will be another classic example of buy cheap, buy twice. Down there, well, it's an Ozito battery powered drill, and that's what happens when you buy the cheap stuff. You check it out real fast. There's the details on this cheap and nasty drill, and it was a 14.4 volt. Then I can see that it's had some major battery problems. Buy cheap and absolutely buy twice. Sorry for the puppy dog noise. Ooh, here's the whole bunch of VHS tapes. It's like the regular show, isn't it? Oh my goodness me! Planet of the Apes! Oh no! It's on the rubbish heap! That sort of has me thinking, you know, I'm seeing all this amazing stuff getting thrown out. Now, if I went to China, would I see the same thing happening there? Now, I know if I went to Vietnam, I certainly wouldn't see it. I've been there, and I'm seeing what happens there. People don't throw out good stuff in Vietnam. Now, maybe it's worth a trip to China just to investigate this, to find out what the Chinese throw out, because all I can see in Australia is we throw out the stuff the Chinese make. Anyway, I better leave this video here. Some people like these styles of videos, some people hate them. I like making them. This is the sort of rubbish I like to do. No pun intended. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. As the sun's setting over there, and the jet's flying right above me. Oh, let's finish off with a scene like that. Beautiful sunset over there in the west. And let's go down here. It's another barbecue. Couldn't help myself, could I?